4th. This is Joe Callahan. Tom Waters joined us at the coffee and table. Good morning to you, Tom.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good. The coffee will be ready momentarily.
That's good. Thank you. That's plenty.
It'd be nice.
Thank
Is
you
that
very
plenty?
much.
Toss it right
Just,
in here, so
yep.
it kind of like mixes up.
All right. Thank you.
Tom's so
very much.
special. He needs 2 cups.
I certainly don't need a waiter, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Dave Richards is here as well. He is he's moving around playing the waiter this morning. As I was texting Tom yesterday to remind him to be here, and he's like, "Oh, no Patriots talk? Oh, sure." Even though just because they didn't play doesn't mean we don't get to talk about them.
Yeah. Well,
They'll be playing tonight, Tom.
oh, is that so?
That's
Yeah.
right.
No, that I knew.
They're
That's
on
about
Monday
as
Night
much as I
Football
know
this
the
evening
schedule.
up there in Foxborough.
I'm not optimistic.
I don't know why. Why you wouldn't
I
be.
do.
The Bears are not that great.
I know, but you've got Mac coming back.
Well, you don't know that. You never know what Bill's going to pull.
Okay.
You never know.
That's true.
And I think they just throw that out there to confuse the Bears, actually.
Yeah, he's been famous for that.
of
where he
who is
he
the
never
quarterback
tells
going to
you
be.
who's-
And they'll both be standing on the quarterback with their helmets on, ready to run in when it's
Right.
time for the offense. And then
we'll know when the real
and then it's like,
moment of truth.
Zappy, get out there. And it'll throw them off. They can't follow it. So
Well, you
it's
got to
actually
do a
pretty
lot
smart
of
move.
preparation, and they prepare for a certain thing if they
Yeah.
can. I mean, if it's standard and the guy's not hurt, they
You know
who
what's
they're
interesting
preparing
about the
for.
Patriots is that you don't hear much from the players. Because, like, the players know stuff, but they don't talk to the press.
That's
Well, they
the
want
Bill
to
Belichick
stay on
way.
the team.
That's
Right.
If you do, you end up being traded.
You end up, you're done.
So that's just the way it is there. But other things that went on yesterday, of course, with them not playing until tonight, you look around at the other teams and say, okay, well, Buffalo had a bye, so that nothing to worry about there. But then you look at the other teams. Okay, I need these teams to beat. I need that team. I need Denver to beat the Jets. And Sunday Night Football, you needed.
Lord, isn't it early to be thinking about those things?
Well, no,
now?
I'll tell you why in a minute. But we also needed Pittsburgh to beat Miami because
Yeah.
Patriots are in last place.
Yeah.
And so, in order to hopefully win tonight, we can jump above everybody else. And none of that happened. Jets won,
well.
Miami won. So they're now, basically 2
So
games
they're
ahead
actually
of us.
decent teams.
Well, look at the Jets. I don't know what has happened to them. All of a sudden, they are good. So, and Miami won over Pittsburgh, who's not that great, but and it's like, oh boy. So tonight actually becomes a must-win to keep tabs
to
on
keep
the
up
other
with them,
teams.
yeah.
The other teams are 5-2 and 5-1, with Patriots at 3-3. You got to win. We have to go to 4 and
quite a
3
division.
to stay in tow with those guys.
Yeah. When,
So
you
it's-
think of, they're winning in that division.
I'm not
so-
optimistic.
Well, okay. I am, because I don't think the Bears are that great, and they can be beat. It's weather.
And it's in-
Weather
in
will play.
Chicago- in Chicago?
No, it's in,
It's in
Foxborough.
Foxborough, okay.
So weather plays a factor into it. It's going to rain. It's going to rain this afternoon. It's going to rain into tonight.
With a
still
north
raining
breeze
tonight?
in your face, the half the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're looking up Route 1, okay?
Yeah.
So this was funny yesterday. To switch it, we're going to keep it on sports for just a minute, but we're switching to baseball.
Oh my!
Going into last night's game
Right.
between the New York Yankees and the Houston Astros. The Yankees are down 3-0. So you know what the management decided to do?
Wave the white flag.
No. Almost. Well, it looks that way.
But then they remembered the Red Sox and
Well,
said,
that's it. They said to inspire the Yankees. Here's a clips of the Red Sox beating us.
yeah,
Now the point is to show them they did it.
it's not over.
It can be done.
Yep.
Let's start. And they show basically Kevin Millar. You don't let us win one game, guys. Go out and win one game, and then we'll worry about the next game. But
Right.
you have to win tonight. Let's worry about that. So they went. They showed them all the Red Sox beating us
Yep.
as an inspiration. And what happened? Houston won. It really didn't work. So, a good try.
It sounds moronic to me. I would have been showing them clips of them beating everyone else
Well-
in the division all season long. I mean, the Yankees had a great ball club.
In hindsight, of course, it looks ridiculous because it didn't work. If they had won, they said, "Oh, that really motivated the team to go out and win. Hey, if that team can do it, we can do it too."
Yep.
So we won a game. We keep playing just like the Red Sox. We won one game. Let's play another one. Let's win that game. This is a cliche. It's one game at a time.
Yep.
Just we got to focus on this game, and that's what they were trying to get him to do. Focus on this game, and it just didn't work. So now it's the Phillies and the Astros in the World Series. Little snooze fest over
Well,
there.
it's just
Bill?
hard to get excited about the Phillies and the Astros.
What World
that's
Series?
all.
Well, it starts tomorrow.
I mean, the Astros have been
but-
there, and
Well, yeah. The good thing is, if you want to, make it for a local angle, Christian Vasquez played for the Red
Yes,
Sox.
he did, yeah.
He's now on Houston. Didn't have a very good season after he went to Houston, but he's playing.
But
for
he's
the World
there.
Series,
He's in the
but
World
there.
Series.
and
he gets the ring.
There's a player from Hendricken that's
No
playing,
kidding.
that plays for Houston now.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's a local Rhode Island angle
Connection, yeah.
to it.
Keep
So there
digging,
you
Joe.
go.
Keep digging.
Well, there you go. I don't have anything else after that. I do think the Phillies win. I think they're the team
You
to
think
beat
so?
this year.
Boy,
and they're
that's
just
that's
better.
quite a call. You need to get up to Twin River because that's
Really?
I
So-
gotta
ooh,
believe
what
they
are
are
the
not
odds?
the favorites.
Oh, I think they are, but
Really?
I don't know. I don't know what the
Because they came out of nowhere in the playoffs,
but
and
they're
Oh.
the hot team. Of course,
And-
so is
and
Houston, so they
Houston's
won.
not?
Well, I didn't say that, but just knowing what I know about the Phillies
Yeah.
and that city that loves their sports, they're just like Boston.
yeah, but they're not on
and
the
they're
field.
Crazed.
No, I
And the fans are gonna
listen. I'm
bump
not
them up.
following it the way you follow
Okay.
baseball. I'm just saying I'm surprised to hear that the Phillies would be favored. That's all. I would think it'd be
I
neck
don't
and
know.
neck. Pretty
I don't
close.
know if they're favored or not. So
No, okay.
I don't know. Someone else will know that. What is the favorite going into the World Series? Of what team is favored? or
It
not?
doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter, Dave?
No, it
Well,
does
I
more
mean-
than ever now. People actually bet on this stuff. And
All,
it's
Oh,
I
like,
yeah.
you know,
all I can think of is our dear friend Dave Russell, who passed away before the baseball season started, and all during the season.
This would have killed him.
Yeah, all during the season, I'm saying to myself, "Gee whiz, Dave, you couldn't have hung on one more year."
Yeah.
Because he'd have been in his glory. He
He would've.
loved the Boston, the New York Yankees. I'm sorry, and he would have been strutting around like a peacock all season long, and then into the playoffs, and then they just dissolved. I don't know if we'd have found a pulse today. You know?
Losing 4 in a row would have killed him.
that would have, man.
All right, the Astros are heavily predicted to win. They're the heavy World Series favorite. So
and Joe's not picking the Astros.
no, I'm going with the Phillies.
Like I said, run down to Twin River, put your $2 there.
Oh, I didn't. If I were to do that, at least 20, and let's make it worth my while.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got to
want
pay for the gas to get there.
I don't want to put down 2 to win 5.
Although I guess you do it on a phone now. I would not know.
No, if I do that, that makes it way too easy
Yeah.
to bet.
No, that's-
and
that's
I don't
what they're-
want that.
that's what they're
easy.
hoping.
Of course it
I-
is.
it's-
And I don't want to do that to myself.
I
It's
hear
it's
ya.
way too easy to put up.
It is. It's
All right. Caller says how swipe it is. Get it?
how swipe it is.
Swipe it is for the Astros. And tonight they Patriots 27-10.
How sweep it is. I think
Yeah.
you meant sweep it is.
Yeah, but they wrote swipe.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I'm just
How
reading.
sweep it is.
Reading as it's handed to me. All
But-
right.
Well, I one final thing I'll say on my,
All right.
and I've mentioned to you that I had that just fortuitous round of golf with the Yankees catcher this year, and I feel bad because one of the things that he also said when I was asking him, he was born and raised in Corpus Christi, Texas, and we're talking about Jose Trevino, and I said, Jose, you must like the Astros then, because the Astros were working through the playoffs last year when I met him, and all this stuff, and he's like, I hate the Astros, and I said,
Is it the
really?
the whole cheating thing?
At the time, well, no, he just hated them, and I don't know why. He didn't really get into it, but he was just like, I'm sick of them, sick of their winning. And,
Wow, really? Okay.
And of course, he was playing at the time for the Texas Rangers, and I said, wow, I'm surprised. They're kind of in your neighborhood. And he goes, no, I hate the Yankees. And so now I'm a year.
I hate the Astros.
Fast forward, Astros rather. And fast forward 1 year, and he gets swept. He gets traded to the Yankees, and then swept by the
them.
Astros.
Oh, must be killing
I'm
him this
sure
morning.
he's having a bad morning.
All right. Let's see. Other things that are going on, and I don't feel bad for Tom Brady. He's 3-4, and with the Buccaneers, and
Really?
And Aaron Rodgers is 3-4 with Green Bay. I don't know what's going on with these two guys. They're just not connecting with their wide receivers. So.
You mean we have a better record without Brady
No,
than he
well,
has
technically,
down in
yes.
Tampa Bay?
We're tied. We're 3-3. Patriots 3-3. They're 3-4. So technically, yes.
Well,
we're
I mean,
at
I think
500, and they're not.
I think it's not about them, and I think it's just they're connecting. I mean, they're connecting or not connecting. This shows you how much you got to have a good line that's protecting you. You got to be able to stand in the pocket, which is Brady. He doesn't run around anymore.
Talented coaches.
And good but good players around you, and then good people with good hands who are jumping in the air and make these amazing catches. When you think back, I saw Julian Edelman on a new commercial. I think it was Verizon.
It is Verizon.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Haven't seen him in 3 years, 4 years. He's been missing in action. And
Can you see his face, or is he bushed out really bad?
Yeah,
well,
he's got a good
kind
beard
of
going.
off in the distance, but a little bit. But the point is, when I remember that catch in the Atlanta game, and it's like you think to yourself, does Brady have people who can make those catches anymore? And
you don't know.
That catch was the difference between winning a Super Bowl and losing a Super Bowl. And that's how it goes. It's very. When you look at the luck, not to. The luck of the New York Giants in the 2 Super Bowls that they won, the famous helmet catch. That helmet catch doesn't happen, and Patriots have another banner. So you've got to have people who are incredibly talented around you, and if you don't, coaches, front office, whatever, you just can't do it. It's tough. Brady was missing passes yesterday, and all I saw was the highlights. But my God, that one where he put it right on target, the guy was
Hit you
right there,
in the hands.
right in the hands, and he bobbles the ball. Brady must have thought, "Oh, Giselle, I'm coming home. Let's talk this out," because it's just sad. And if that's what the whole season may look like, and it's tough.
So there was a very amusing commercial last night, I thought, on Sunday Night Football, and it was for some liquor company, whiskey or something like that. But it was it looked like it was an ex-player for Miami at one time, talking about the '72 Dolphins that had the perfect season, 17-0, and won the Super Bowl that year. But the woman bartender said, "Yeah, but what about that team from up north back in '07? We went 19-0 before we lost in the Super Bowl. Oh, we don't talk about that team." That's pretty funny. And I had brought that up to my wife. So the Patriots beat that record,
Yeah.
but because they lost in the Super Bowl, it's not a perfect season.
Right.
But we had more wins than them
Yeah.
at the time. And it's just
the season is longer.
now the season's longer.
The season's
and,
longer,
and yet they won more games. And it's like
And I believe probably more playoff games. I'm not, back in 1972, I'm not even sure how deep the playoffs were.
I'm not sure, but that year for the Patriots, there's no wild card for them because they won the division, so they would have played in the AFC Championship and then the Super Bowl. I think that's how that worked. So, but anyway, I thought the ad was amusing. We don't talk about that team.
Yeah, we
from
don't
up
talk
north.
about that.
It's pretty funny. And it was nice to see the guys that were on the Miami team in '72. The 4 of them that could walk out onto the field. Larry Zonka had a cane. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I didn't.
Larry Zonka, Bob Greasy, Paul Warfield, and another player. Those 4 walked out. There were others that
Another
were
player
up,
to be named later?
I just can't remember his name.
Okay.
I think it was Little, but I was not positive. But they did have other players there that were up in the box. They didn't walk out onto the field. And I said, I wonder if they can walk because 50 years ago, these guys were in their 20s. Like all these guys are in their 80s now.
Yeah, so that's
I don't know.
yeah.
And how many are still left? So
What is the 70s? That's 50
it's 50 years ago.
So they're in their 70s, but they beat themselves up pretty hard back back in the day.
And it was get back in there. I don't care if you're hurt.
Yeah, right.
Not like
Suck it
today.
up.
That's right. Get back out there. All right. Unless you want someone else to play. No, I'll go play, Coach. Okay. That's the way it was back then. We're going to take a break on the Coffee and Program. We're going to get away from the sports for right now and get on to other things. 766-1240 for comments and questions.
Paul Bourget, chairman of the Woonsocket School Committee, is asking for your vote to re-elect him and the current members of the school committee, including Donald Burke, Lynn Kapiskas, Alan LeClaire, and Amy Costa. For the past 2 years, your current school committee has provided experienced leadership and commitment to our students, their parents, and the school administration. They've listened and acted on school issues such as bullying and mask wearing. The school committee approved programs and personnel to address learning loss and social-emotional support. In addition, the school committee provided for a safe and healthy environment for our students. And currently, they're planning for the building and rehabilitation of our schools. Know that your school committee will continue to make sure that our students receive the best education possible. So please, cast your vote for Donald Burke, Lynn Kapiskas, Alan LeClaire, Amy Costa, and Paul Bourget.
Paid for by the Campaign for Paul Bourget.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON AM and FM.
It is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Tom Ward. Well, Tom, it's been a rather rough week, and things just continue over at Woonsocket High School and Woonsocket Area Career Technical School. First, they had a water pipe burst, and that kept kids out of school for 2 or 3 days.
It broke. Yeah.
It broke, and then they had a bomb threat on Friday.
Took them out for an
that
hour.
took the kids out of school, and then this morning, there's a gas leak over at Woonsocket High. Again, there's no school. I'm like,
Jeez.
boy, I just should wonder what else is going to come up. It's just been a rough week,
COVID will reemerge.
and it's just
Are they pretending?
Now that's
that,
not nice.
Are they pretending that that the kids can do education at home and it's
No,
all being-
Pretending?
They
Yeah.
no, it's just go home
they
and we'll
decided
pick it up
yeah,
later.
They decided they weren't going to do that on snow days, and so they weren't set to do it on a building day.
No, it's not enough notice.
Well, they need to fix the infrastructure because it's not that old. It's a 50-year-old school,
There you go.
and you know they'll be complaining for all these repairs. I mean, I agree you got to do repairs, obviously, but boy, you're getting old when you remember the school going up and now
When it opened.
and now it's like, oh, that's an old school. It's like, well, what's that say about me? Because 50 years old should not be an old school. And the other thing I remember, frankly, about Woonsocket High more than other high schools was back in the 90s when I would go in there, and I went to other public schools to cover things, to do work.
To work.
Woonsocket High School was one of the best maintained schools and I would
Oh, yeah.
publicly say that. It was like this place, kudos to the custodial staff and the staff. It was a well-maintained school. Now, it's the last 10 or 15 years I haven't really been in it much. I've been a little bit to auditorium and stuff. But it was still an attractive school, even though it was 50 years old, and I gave them credit for that work. Now, these things are invisible, I guess, when you have a gas leak or you have a water leak. These things can happen and nobody can see it. And I don't know how you prepare for stuff like that other than, some of them are buried and stuff, and so you're just stuck with it. But, I'd hope, with state help or something, they could find their way to maybe spending $1 million and making sure all the pipes are secure for another 50 years, because the building itself was, back as I recall, not in bad shape at all. And
Had roof problems in the beginning, but they got through those.
Yeah.
Had roof problems at the library, too, if you recall. Chronic roof problems for a decade.
that's why when I was in my early Valley Breeze days, I always said, I do not understand why you don't have pitch roofs on schools. And I got all of the experts saying, no. But I had a few people who agreed with me, and there was a vote, and there was a vote for a bond issue. This is going back 20 or 22 years now. And they decided in Cumberland to put pitched roofs on all the flat roofs elementary schools. And they did it. And they've had pitched roofs for the last 20 years. And they've had no problems for the last 20 years.
Monsignor
And-
Gattery, too.
Yep, same thing.
Remember that, when they
Yep.
put that roof on top?
It's funny you say that, Tom, because I went to the Cumberland school system, elementary schools, back in the 1970s, and I had a teacher in 4th grade. So this would be 1976, around there. Telling the students, I can't believe they have a flat roof on a school in New England.
Yeah.
What are they thinking? And
Yeah.
every year, a different school classroom had a water leak.
Water flood,
Every
yeah,
single
yeah.
over there. Now it's over there. Now it's over there. Now it's
Yep,
over there.
yep.
And you're right. Now they have the pitch roofs on, and it's not an issue. But every
Yeah.
year,
Well, most
a
still
classroom
don't, but
had
and they
had
you
a
know,
water leak.
Yeah, and you're just running the buckets around all
That's
the time,
right.
and
Kids, stay away from it.
yeah, and but anyway, Cumberland thankfully came around and put on the normal roof, and although they're probably running up against the life of the shingles now, it'll really come to be time to replace the shingles. Well, they might be doing it now because they're spending money going through all the schools. They're rehabbing them all now, so maybe they'll be putting new roofs on them too.
Now, and back to
new
Woonsocket,
shingles.
back on last Friday, they had a bomb threat. The kids were outside for an hour. Luckily, it was a nice enough day. But they arrested a 14-year-old student. Of course, they won't tell you who the name is. They do say it's a female. And we keep saying how smart the kids are these days because they've grown up with the computers and they know how to start using them from kindergarten onwards.
They're computer savvy. They're
Computer
not
savvy.
smart.
Okay, let's use savvy. That's much better. Because
Some are smart,
and maybe they just don't tell them now, and I'm not sure why, but they make the bomb threat allegedly was made by use of social media. I'm like, but that's so traceable, almost instant. They know exactly where
Like
it's
I-
coming from.
Like I said, not smart.
smart.
Computer savvy, not smart.
They just think, oh, this will
What a wonderful idea.
This will
I
get
need
me
to-
out of the test I have
Yeah, I
to take.
have a math test in an hour. Let's just phone in a bomb threat.
and everything. Well, not phone
Not
it in.
phone in, of course, right?
Let's
Yeah.
not even
Text
text
in,
it in. Let's social
whatever.
media it in, if that's even a phrase.
Yeah.
And everything will be fine. I'm like, but unless you can prove somehow that Tom Ward picked up my phone
Mm-hmm.
and he did this and I didn't, and good luck getting that proven.
Yeah.
They're coming right after you.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I don't know why
I stand by
students
my
are
reputation, Joe. I don't typically send in bomb threats.
Well,
Was I implying that?
they determined very quickly that the student in question did not possess the ability to
Yeah.
make good on the threat. So
Yeah.
that's why they let everybody back in school.
But it still takes an hour to
Immediately.
sweep the school.
Yep. Well,
Right.
to do the investigation, because you're right, they don't necessarily have to sweep the school. Like it's like that kid did it. Yeah, no,
No.
everyone back to the classroom. You know, they're just not capable.
Well, I just don't know why they don't realize that if I do it via text or if I do it via social media, it's so easily traced right back to me. So why do that?
You're gonna go back to the old-fashioned way, pulling the alarm in the hall.
Pulling the alarm. You have your friend that's outside. If you can find a payphone, you got to
You
phone
should have
it,
wear
and
gloves when you pull that alarm.
See, should.
I was always told that. I don't know if it was true.
What?
If you pull the alarm, like this purple mist came out and got on your hands.
Oh no, that wasn't true.
No. Well, so you believe that kind of thing when you're in
Well, when the
elementary
risk
school.
is when the risk is high enough, you don't want to take a chance of finding out that they were right. Right?
Something similar to that, back to Cumberland High, we had swim class as part of phys ed.
Sure, they won't.
And but I had a teacher, phys ed teacher, that got in the pool with us, Frank Geiselman, huge man. Oh,
He was a big guy. Yeah.
he almost played football with the Packers. He was the last one cut. So just a monster of a guy. But he told us in the school, he goes, now no peeing in the pool, and if you do, there's going to be a purple.
There's a dye.
There's
there's
a
a
dye
oh
in
my.
the water that's going to circle around you, so we all know you did it. And I thought then, I go, is he lying
Right.
or not?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take that chance.
test
So
it.
I did not test it, and neither did anybody else, as
Yeah.
far as I know.
I think that dye does exist.
Does it?
But I bet
Okay.
he didn't.
Oh, sure.
But
Does the school?
but I
have it?
doubt the school had it in the pool.
I always wanted to, if I ever
So
see
he
him
said-
again, I'll
I
have to ask
just said
him.
I looked at the budget for this pool, and
Yeah.
I can tell you,
You
no,
know
there's
what
no
that
dye in
dye
the pool.
costs?
Yeah.
It must be thousands of dollars for that stuff. Well, we didn't think about it then as kids. You don't think about what's in the budget, what's not. It's just it all made perfect sense. So
Yeah.
it's just something you didn't pull. So you didn't do it.
Joe, over the weekend we got an
Yeah.
update from
On?
about Salman Rushdie. Does anybody remember him?
I do. Is there still a death threat against him?
Well, they almost killed him
Oh, that's right. They stabbed him.
about a couple months
they
ago.
did.
So, yes, he's in England, right?
And the story, no, he's not.
He's in America, I think.
He's in Chautauqua, New York,
Oh,
upstate New York, in the beautiful Finger Lakes
in the
region.
Finger Lakes. Yes, it's
Yes.
lovely up that way.
Salman Rushdie's permanent injuries are now being revealed.
Oh, from the
Permanent
stabbing?
injuries from the stabbing. 2
Wow.
months after the famous author was stabbed at a speaking event in New York, his agent says Rushdie has permanently lost the sight in one eye
Wow.
and the use of one of his hands. He's also still recovering from serious wounds to the neck, chest, and stomach. The man charged in the attack pleaded not guilty back in August. Rushdie spent nearly a decade in hiding after the former leader of Iran, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Ayatollah Khomeini,
Yeah, I told him. Put a death threat.
called for a death over a controversial novel.
A book.
Yes.
What was the name
Do
of
you-
the book?
You don't remember?
Wait a minute. No, it's coming. It's coming to me. Do you remember, Tom?
Bridge on the River Kwai.
Not quite.
No, I don't.
Satanic. You don't
Satanic
whistle
Ver-
at this one. It's,
Satanic Verses.
there you go.
Okay.
Satanic verses, right.
All right.
And so anyway, he wrote it. He went into hiding after the death threat. Eventually, he came back out. Khomeini is gone. Everybody's forgotten
thinks he's
this.
safe.
Somebody didn't forget, and but somebody bungled it.
Is he going to get the reward? I doubt
No, you
it.
didn't kill him.
If he's in prison.
Well, that's right. So what you got to do is you got to kill him and be killed killing him.
Oh man!
Well,
that's
otherwise
then
you
why,
don't-
why would you get a reward?
You
if
don't
he's
get
killed
the
killing
reward.
him?
Well, the reward comes
the
in
point
the
of that?
afterlife. You
That's
know?
right.
Ah,
The reward comes in the
The
afterlife.
72, you know what?
Yeah,
So waiting
yeah.
for you.
Okay, so well, some people believe this, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to yuck anybody else's yum, but
that's
I
too bad
also
that he's got those permanent injuries.
I also I have a real big problem with religions that tell you to go kill somebody. Well, it kind of conflicts with the other stuff in the religion I've been taught. So I'm not on board with that stuff. But I understand how people can get zealous about it, and this individual obviously did. And Mr. Rushdie is going to have he's going to be permanently handicapped for a while. Well, you know,
Well, forever.
well, it says permanently handicapped, so you imagine it's the rest of his life, but you never know what
Yeah.
medical science is going to be able to do.
so that was a serious attack. I mean,
Very
Oh,
serious.
yes.
They said they said that they stabbed him in the neck. Well, they stabbed him a lot more than the neck. They
And
got him
the
in the
eye.
stomach and the chest and the neck and the face, all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, if you're stabbing somebody, once you get stabbed, you're going to start moving to try to protect yourself, and so yeah, you're going to
Right.
hit
That's
other
how your
areas.
hand gets cut.
Yeah,
and
that's a
stuff like
defensive
that.
wound
Right.
kind of thing. Wow, that's too bad on that. All right, back here in Rhode Island, Tom, First Lady Jill Biden's going to make a visit.
Oh, good.
She's coming to our alma mater.
Do you have your
Is
ticket?
she really?
She's coming to Rhode Island College. How about that?
Oh, good.
And she's here to stump for Dan McKee
Yeah.
and the rest of the Democratic Party. So she'll be here on Wednesday. I saw Dan McKee's new TV commercial during football. Actually, have you seen it?
I have not.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
He's walking down his driveway, carrying 2 large bags of trash, and he goes, "Have you
Is
seen
it
it,
yellow
guys?"
bag day?
No,
With
no,
a
they were
yellow
white. No,
bag?
they're white
Ah,
bags. Sorry. And he just, I'm sure you've seen all the negative ads,
Yeah.
geared towards me. Well, this is what I think about him. And he just holds up the trash. And he goes, "What do you do with negative ads? You throw them away." And he throws them in the trash. And then he talks about how wonderful he is and what he's done in his time,
Sure.
in his short amount of time he's been there. And then he's back in the house. His wife is there. It looks like his kids are there, and of course his mother's there. And he talks about not bad for a guy that he starts to say it. He lived with his mother. Not bad for a guy who lives. And then they all jump in. Yeah, Dad, we heard it. And they cut him off. And then they cut to his mother. Hey, that's my line. And so that's how it kind of ends.
Yeah.
so
they had
it's
said
very
they
folksy.
had,
It's very good.
They had said that she was the star of the primaries, so they had
Yeah.
to find a
Gotta
way
bring
to
her back.
rewrite it and bring
Now,
it back. bring
has
it
she
back.
got? Is she hard of hearing?
I imagine so in
Because
her mid-90s.
she's wearing
but I
dark
don't know.
she's wearing dark sunglasses in the ad.
Oh, you mean
as she's inside.
vision.
That
You mean
doesn't
vision.
change your hearing, Joe.
Did I say hearing?
Sunglasses
Wow,
are for the
I'm
TV
sorry.
lights.
I know what I'm thinking. I'm just not saying it right. Is she hard of?
Is she
can't
have
see?
seeing issues? Yeah, I don't know. To tell you the
All
truth.
right.
Well,
maybe
she's-
it's the bright lights from the cameras.
Yeah.
That's just too much for her.
That's what I figured.
Okay. 'Cause
That,
that's
of
what
course,
she's wearing.
she's the star.
No,
Hollywood.
mostly Dan's the star, but they did put her in right there towards the end. We're going to take a break out of the Coffee and program right now. It's time for a look at the weather forecast being brought to you by the Ad Council.
Rain and thunderstorms 80% likely, mainly in the afternoon today. High of 61 degrees with a north wind. Up to an inch of rain is likely today. Tonight, more rain, 60% likely. Otherwise cloudy with an overnight low of 56 degrees, possible thunderstorm. Tuesday's weather, patchy fog, cloudy skies, high of 68, only a 20% chance of more rain. Wednesday, cloudy skies and 67. Thursday, mostly sunny skies and 68. Friday, mostly sunny and 57. Saturday, partly sunny and 57. And on Sunday, mostly sunny, 59.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with cloudy skies. We have 53 degrees. Okay, dads, it's time to do the Cabbage Patch, the Running Man, or something more contemporary, the Floss. That's right, dance like a dad with your kids. Learn more at fatherhood.gov, sponsored by the Ad Council. And you got to dance with your kids when they're kids, because when they become teenagers, now you're an embarrassment.
In Congress, David Cicilline is delivering for Rhode Island. As global events raise prices everywhere, including here at home, Cicilline is cutting costs for Rhode Islanders. He battled the pharmaceutical companies and lowered prescription drug prices for seniors. David took on the big corporations for price gouging and brought historic investments in infrastructure, manufacturing, and clean energy to create jobs, improve the supply of goods, and help reduce costs for consumers. Visit Cicilline.com and make your plan to vote on or before Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th. David Cicilline, delivering for Rhode Island.
I'm David Cicilline, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Cicilline Committee.
So you're remodeling your home and you want to find just the right flooring. So off you go to DRL Carpet. Why? Because they have the best selection and prices in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That means you don't have to wait. Plus, it means you can get it installed now. So first you get the best price, next you get the best service, and you get the best selection. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, hardwood floors, the place to shop is DRL Carpet, 27 Veterans Way, Woonsocket, next to World War II Veterans Memorial Park. DRL Carpet reminds you there's a big difference between getting the job done and getting the job done right. DRL Carpet of Woonsocket.
1, 2, 3, go.
Go where?
Tell them.
Tell them what?
Never mind. That is Manny Brando, and I am Virginia. And together we bring you the Manny Brando Show every Sunday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. over ON, AM, and FM.
I like to say something now.
No, time's up. It's Sundays, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m.
Too early for me.
Too bad.
It is Coffee and here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan, Tom Ward, and Dave Richards. We have a new Autumn Fest winning button number.
We do.
The $500 prize has been claimed. The $250 prize has been claimed. And now the new $100 prize for button number 3253. And if you have that, you call... Dave?
769-6925.
And if you don't have it, please hang on until that prize
They're
is
awake already.
claimed.
You don't have to worry about calling them up.
And if no one claims that $100, they will draw another button next Monday. So, do you have your button numbers memorized at
I
time?
don't. I didn't, and I don't know why. I'm embarrassed to say I only had one button this year. Usually I buy 4 or 5.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why I only had one. And usually I come in here and get it. And
Sure.
It starts with a 12. And is that what it starts with 12s here?
We
right?
get 12s
Yes.
here, and then later on we get others.
Yeah. But I don't know.
We also want to remind people that you have about a week now to pick up your Autumn Fest calendar, Prize a Day calendar. Those drawings start a week from tomorrow. So they're $10 a piece. They're still available here at the radio station. Come on in. The prizes are worth over $11,000.
Wow.
And if you do win, they take your name and they throw you back into the bucket. You can win again. And we have had people that have won twice in past years. So it does happen. So get your Autumn Fest Prize a Day calendar. Prizes start being drawn on November 1st.
And you don't have to be present to win, right? You just
Oh,
put
no.
your name and phone number.
Bill Schneck is very good.
and
He'll get a
they'll
hold
call
of you,
you.
and how you can pick up your prize.
That's
he's,
good.
He's very good at that.
All right.
Easy peasy.
Yep. So
Carly Simon lost both
Yes.
sisters last week
how about that?
within a day of each other. Her old Carly Simon, the singer, we're talking about, in case people didn't catch. Joanna is not. She wasn't the singer. She didn't go out and sing with Carly and Lucy, but Lucy and Carly. Lucy was the middle kid, So anyway, Joanna died after a battle with thyroid cancer last Wednesday at 85. On Thursday, the day next, Lucy died, and she was 82. She had been diagnosed with breast cancer earlier. So Carly's sitting there saying, geez, we had 3, now we got just me. And she's rather circumspect about it, wonderful people. They help a lot of folks and stuff like that. But I don't know, did people remember that Lucy and Carly had a hit record in the 60s?
Called?
It's in the machine. Simon Sisters.
Okay.
It's in the machine. And then later on, Carly went solo and did well. Girl had perfect pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a gift for any musician. She had perfect pitch. Although some of the people with perfect pitch that I've known say it's a curse because I hear everybody else messing up. But she said their loss will be long and haunting.
Now, how old is she? How old is
She's the youngest. So.
She's the youngest girl, and
Okay.
I don't know her exact age, but you got to figure it's like late
80-ish,
50s. I'm sorry, late 70s or early 80s. Carly Simon's age. Joe's looking it up on his phone because we can do that in the 21st
I know,
century.
it's a
Joe.
miracle.
There you go for it.
All right. I haven't found it yet.
Carly
so-
Simon's age. I got a computer right in front of me. If you weren't doing it, I'd have been doing it.
Let's
I'm
see.
thinking 79.
She was born in 1943. Oh, no, that's...
79.
Yeah, she's 79.
79.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
There you go.
So, Tom, you're retired now.
I sure
You
am.
know, I feel like driving a Ripta bus.
No.
No, not at all.
I can't drive an RV. I'm not driving a Ripta bus.
What's wrong with the RV?
No, it's just, Ripta has to cut
Nobody
down.
got killed.
Not yet.
People using public transportation going to see fewer buses on the road. Ripta says it's temporarily cutting back the number of buses due to the lack of drivers.
Right.
Ripta says it's been not eliminating any routes, but over 20 routes have been scaled back as of last Saturday. And it's because they just don't have enough drivers.
And the example I looked up, Tom, is that the bus 54 goes between Woonsocket and Providence. And it would go at the top of the hour, the bottom of the hour, or actually it would pass different points at those other
Right,
intervals. But it would go about every 30 minutes. You'd see the bus go by, 30 minutes going south, 30 minutes later coming north. So about an hour circuit.
Yep.
But each bus is going to hit their stops now at 40-minute intervals instead of 30. That'll eliminate one bus.
Bus 54, where are you?
Car 54.
Oh. Yeah.
Information available at ripta.com.
Yeah.
So the times are going to change. There'll be fewer, but the route's still
Sure.
there. But there's a
Well,
But they just say
and,
fewer.
during the jury duty, I always took the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice having something that came every 30 minutes.
Sure.
But 40 minutes isn't going to bother me that much.
right. It's not going to
Might
be the end
bother
of the
others,
world.
though.
Well, it might, and you might miss another connection or something
Well,
else
that's
like
it,
that.
yeah.
It could be, yeah, you're right. But there's also in the morning, if you're commuting, there's a 54, I'm sorry, they call it now the 59 Express that goes from Woonsocket to Providence and only stops at the Park and Ride in Lincoln Mall.
Mm-hmm.
All other stops have been removed. So it goes from Woonsocket straight down and back up. But it only runs 3 times every morning and 3 times every afternoon.
Okay.
Basically for
It's
commuters.
a commuter run.
Yeah, and it goes to all the park and rides. So that's a pretty cool thing. They're doing the best they can. Hey, what can you do? You got union bus drivers. Some of them are getting older. They're retiring. Other people don't want the job. What are you gonna do?
Conscript. I
Got script. Thank you, President.
no, I mean, it's going to be. I don't know. There's a lot of these more traditional jobs that were decent jobs, and no one wants to do them. And it's like, I don't know how you survive as a country over time. I'm guessing it'll come back. People will get back to work. And
Right.
stuff. But
The
it's
appropriate
like,
amount of adversity will
it's
be
like-
felt, and they'll just come up to the situation.
like bus drivers, for instance. Public bus transportation has always been a big thing where the politicians are like, oh, we're going to go green and leave your car at home and take the bus. Some people do it. My contention is it's never been nearly enough. Like you, when I had jury duty, I went to Lincoln Mall and took the bus in. But
Yeah, because there's no buses.
that was
in
more about
Cumberland.
parking. Yeah, no, there's no buses.
I didn't know that until this time around.
Even not down by Inn and Hope in that area.
Well, there might-
Cumberland?
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it might be
probably
something
some,
down there, but I mean,
but-
through Cumberland.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
Here
just
in
assume
Woonsocket, you can
everybody's
get them at
gotta-
Walnut Hill Plaza. They go
Yeah.
to Fairmount. They go crisscross into downtown and Social. But
It's about money. Everybody's got a car in northern
Eh,
Cumberland, and so
yeah.
they're just like they could put a bus there, but nobody would take it. And so what are you going to do?
So I think that down near Town Hall there is a bus route that passes through, but doesn't like meaningfully go to any place in Cumberland. Just that one little thing down at the tip. And then of course, if I were in New Shore, I might say, "Hey, I've been waiting for a bus for 50 years. I haven't seen one."
They haven't made them waterproof yet.
Yeah.
All right, so the medical marijuana stores keep popping up, Tom.
Oh, good news.
A new one opened this past weekend.
We will whip the ambition out of this state if it kills us, and it will.
It's in Central Falls, the newest one.
Yeah.
Aura.
Right, with the $200 million of schools coming. Yes, good.
Aura of Rhode Island opened on Lonsdale Avenue in CF this past week. Any schools on Lonsdale Avenue in Central Falls?
No, I don't know,
No,
but
just
they're-
wondering.
I know. I'm just making light of the fact that they're about to spend $270 million on new schools in Central Falls. And
Well, they have to. The state's been running the place for a while. You think they've been fixing things up? I don't know.
Well, there's one that's a fairly new school. I trust it will stay open because it's one that's been around. I mean, I say fairly new, 20 years. It's not that. I can't think of the name of it, but it's not an old school. It's a nice school. The high school needs changing. But again, how many kids and how much money? I mean, I spoke about it on this program a few weeks ago that the Valley Breeze had a story about a plan for 2 new schools in Central Falls for $270 million. On the ballot this year is school funding for $250 million. Now, I know it's all going to get spread out and stuff, but the point is it's not nearly enough. And just Central Falls are going to build schools for $270 million. And I don't know, when you start to take out the calculator and say, how many kids you got in those schools and do the math, and it's like, man.
Well, wait till after December 1st when the 36 retail stores of marijuana open
Yeah.
in Rhode Island.
Well, then we'll have all the money we need.
That's
'cause
right.
We're all stoners now.
And they won't be running to Massachusetts to buy their marijuana.
I'm not sure they do now. I don't know that these places are all that busy. I got to be honest with you. I think people are
Not the way it used to be.
overrating how
All the money
much
you're gonna
money
get?
they're going to be making in these things. Because I think, listen, there are certain people who are, they want to do it, and they're fine, just like liquor. They're going to go out and buy the stuff. They go home, they watch a football game, they go to bed. That's fine, whatever. My problem with marijuana is the damage that nobody talks about anymore. The damage to young people and just killing their ambition.
Wasting
if
time.
used over time.
Yeah, wasting good years of their lives,
Right.
partying when they probably shouldn't be.
But it also I think it has an adverse effect on them physically, but nobody's going to talk about that now. It's all about how much
Nothing else about
money
money.
can we make.
I think the most hideous thing about this upcrop of marijuana is what it's done to the Twinkie.
Oh, tell us, what has it done to the Twinkie?
I saw it in the store just this past weekend. I couldn't
The
believe it.
cost of Twinkies, you mean?
Was it smaller?
No.
Well, that's part of
Well,
it.
they're
but-
tiny, yeah.
no, pumpkin spice Twinkie.
Isn't that
Well, of
gross?
course.
Oh my good! I
Grossest
walked by
thing
and I
ever.
crossed my fingers in the sign of the cross, which is tough to push a cart when you're doing,
doing
that.
that,
But I'm
yeah.
telling you, pumpkin spice Twinkies.
You didn't want to
Leave
try
it alone.
Well, it's like pumpkin spice Cheerios.
I guess maybe it
Breakfast
goes with
cereal.
a pumpkin spice coffee. It's the Twinkie and the coffee. You dip it in. I don't know.
When it came to the money with the marijuana, I was always surprised because of where I live. There's me, and then a mile away is Great Woods or the Xfinity Center. On the other side of Great Woods, really a quarter of a mile down the road on the right was a new cannabis joint. It opened up in Norton, Massachusetts. The line is right there. But they didn't open over the summer. I said the amount of money they are losing in sales
Yeah.
on concert night is astronomical.
Yeah.
Now, why they didn't open up during the summer, I don't know. And maybe it was the town, or maybe it was them. I don't know. But they opened up basically after concert season ended.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want to deal with the crowd.
Maybe they wanted a soft start. Yeah,
That might have been it.
Soft start.
but you still see 3 or 4 cars. Of course, they could be workers in there. You don't see lines of people trying to get in.
Well, it's just more stores. I mean,
It is. It's just more.
I'm just thinking on Route 1, they've got one near the malls that used to be a
Yeah.
equipment place, or like a construction equipment place called Case. Now that's one. And
Now-
then the old, boy, this is gonna go back. Tavernier owned Bocce Club way back in
I
the
remember.
day.
Lynn and
But
her
then
family.
But then they bought a place when they left Woonsocket, and they bought a place.
Narragansett.
No, this is. I mean, yes, but there was another one on Route 1 on the near Turnpike Lake, the Plainville.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
one right on the
And-
side of the road
and,
there.
and that is now a cannabis center
Yeah.
too.
Well, that's interesting.
They're popping
But
up.
did you read the rest of the story that you were referring to, Joe? Is that you've got the Aura, and the other
Yes.
one is a delivery dispensary,
Yeah, they're out of South Kingstown.
and it's like we'll
Home delivery
deliver.
service. Sweet Spot Dispensary. I love the names they come up with.
Well, that's necessary, of course, because in the summertime now, when the place fills up again
That's
between
right, with
Memorial Day
beachgoers.
and Labor Day, right?
I can't get
There's
there.
a lot of people who don't know the roads and don't know the area
Yeah.
come down and rent for a weekend. And let's face it, if you're down there in Jerusalem, after you've been watching the ferry go back and forth for a few days, you could use a party.
An edible. That's what
you
you
could use a party or something like. Hey, let's call up the pot joint.
They
But where
deliver.
is it? I don't know
Doesn't
where
matter.
it is. It's on some road over here. Don't worry about it. They'll deliver.
They deliver. So, hey.
Well, they're delivering liquor, so
That's right. All right, we'll take a final break here on the Coffee Am program. More coming up. Stay tuned.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The high cost of living, rising energy costs, safe streets, secure elections. These are the issues facing every Rhode Islander, and they require real leadership and real solutions. My name is John Brian, and as State Representative for District 49, I assure you that I will work to earn your trust each and every day that I serve as your state representative. I'm running as an independent candidate because in this climate of political gridlock and consistent conflict, I think it is truly important to elect candidates that will have an open mind regardless of party or personality. Neither political party has the monopoly on good or bad ideas, holding the city, town, or state back because of a party designation holds us back from the successes that we could otherwise achieve. As a former state representative and vice president of the Woonsocket City Council, I have the experience and knowledge to hit the ground running on day one. I humbly ask you for your vote, and I look forward to serving you as your state representative. Paid for, Friends of John Brian.
The Woonsocket Board of Canvassers would like to remind voters that November 8th is Election Day. The voters of Woonsocket will be voting on races from U.S. Congress to school committee with 3 state referenda questions. In addition, there will be 2 local referenda questions on the ballot. Question 4, an amendment to the Woonsocket Home Rule Charter, regards the appointment of the city solicitor and reads, shall the City of Woonsocket Home Rule Charter, Chapter 10, entitled Administrative Departments, Article 1, entitled Law Department, Section 1, entitled Created Appointment Qualifications of Head, be amended to change the authorization for appointment of the city solicitor from the appointment by the mayor to appointment by the city council? You may approve or reject that question. Question 5 is entitled Relating to Cannabis Establishments and Public Use. And the question reads, shall new cannabis-related licenses for businesses involved in the cultivation, manufacture, laboratory testing, and for the retail sale of adult recreational use cannabis be issued in the city of Woonsocket? You may approve or reject that question. knowing your options. Early in person or Election Day, please vote. If you'd like more information on the election, you can visit the website of the Woonsocket Board of Canvassers at www.woonsocketri.org or call the office at 401-767-9223.
It is Coffee In here on ON AM FM. We thank you for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Tom Ward and Dave Richards, and just looking at some of the other stuff going on around the country, Tom.
We only got 10 minutes left, so talk fast, boys.
Okay.
Not that fast.
Oh, okay. This sound, on paper, this sounds like a great idea, and I'm sure the fans would have loved it. But there's always an element where things might go wrong.
Not
and
sports again.
Well, close. This high school in Tennessee decides to hire this skydiver to come in and land.
We're going to talk about
before,
that?
Yeah, before the football game.
What a tragedy. It's
His
not just
parachute
one.
doesn't open.
It's a whole bunch.
my
No, that's
God.
not true.
No?
No, none of that is true. No, what
Fake news?
Well, it was a group. And down south, high school football takes on proportions far above
Right.
what we
Yeah,
do
not
here in
what
New
we see
England.
here, yeah.
They are like, this is the big thing of the week. And so they've got everybody in the stand, thousands of people in the stands. And so they hire this skydiving club.
Yeah, a group.
Right, and a total of 5 come down, but one of the guys, both his shirts open.
Yeah, they did.
But he went into a spin.
Spinning out of control.
And not even the other divers really know what caused that spin. But because of the spin, he couldn't control it.
Mm-hmm.
And he just spiraled right into the ground.
So he crashes on the football field
On the football field.
before the game started. But like Dave said, how it's football's so big. All right, it's pick up the body and move
Yeah,
him out
nobody
of here.
canceled the game.
They did not cancel the game.
No.
It was delayed by about an hour.
Yeah.
So we still played.
Sure. A 56-year-old man with dozens and dozens and dozens of skydives to his credit.
Yeah, I mean it's not new. He's not new. He's done it before.
I just remember back in my childhood where I was sick enough to kind of laugh at it. I think we all did.
Well, when
Was
you
when
kids,
Santa
yeah,
Claus came parachuted into Walnut Hill Plaza for Christmas.
Yeah.
That was his arrival. Wasn't
What happened?
There was none of this. He landed in a tree. He didn't splash on the parking lot, thank God. But it was a breezy day, and you
Right.
could tell they kept throwing these flags out of the plane to kind of give him some idea of the wind. And then they took their best shot, and poor Santa went off to where there was trees over. This is before the wing with McCarthy's was even born, where there was just a straight shot to the end.
Yeah.
Where Woolworths was. This is going back. And
Where
so,
Piet's was.
And so he basically dove and landed in trees over near where McCarthy's would have been, Savers today. And all the kids, there were hundreds of kids waiting for this, and everyone just sprinted. Like the line just blew, and it was like, we're going to Santa, get him out of the tree. And we get there, and poor Santa's hanging in the tree, and there's people, going to get him, and gave us something to talk about. I was probably, 12 years old.
They had to call the fire department to come get him.
Oh, they were.
They were already there?
They were there.
Oh,
I mean, it
okay.
was, and I think that's when they probably said, "I'll tell you what, we're going to
do
just
this
put you
again
on the truck next
next
time.
year."
We're not going to do this anymore."
Well,
That's too bad.
the parafoil was invented by a Woonsocket native, and that's the steerable parachute.
Yeah,
They didn't have those in World War II.
I didn't know that. Is that the guy?
Yeah,
in
the
Hall of
rectangular
Fame?
steerable parachute.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember his name right
Yeah.
now.
Is he the one in the Hall of Fame in
Yes, he
Woonsocket
is.
High School?
Yes,
okay,
he
I
is.
know who you're talking. But you're right. The name escapes me.
And so, but when you do skydiving, generally you do it with that type of a chute, the steerable parachute,
Right.
where you can tuck it one way. Now, it's steerable, right? I mean, you can't do U-turns.
Within
You
reason.
can't do really quick, thick things. Right.
I want to go up.
Yeah, right. Remember what they always say: 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You hear
Well,
about
the poor guy.
that? Is
Enough
too
of
bad
that.
about the guy in Tennessee.
Enough of
This guy out of Cuba, he apparently used an old Russian-made single-engine plane and flew to freedom in Florida.
Wow.
How
So
about
he
that?
really is out of Cuba.
I can't believe the plane actually made
Plane
it.
worked. Yeah.
The plane landed on Friday at a small airport in the Everglades. I didn't know there was an airport in the Everglades. The pilot has been identified as someone from Central Cuba. Customs and Border Protection and Miami-Dade police officers rushed to the small airport. His family was questioned by police, but doesn't say if
That's
they're
so
sending
much
him back
trouble.
or not.
Didn't he know he could just walk through Mexico and come right in?
It's a long way
it's
from
like-
Cuba to Mexico,
I
though.
guess so.
It's easier to fly.
Yeah, it is easier to fly.
to
But
Florida.
It's only 90 miles.
Yeah.
And when you get into those little aircraft like that, I don't know that particular model, but Sabi Ludovici, there's a name for the pass for you.
Just
he-
old Russian-made single engine.
Yeah, he explained to me
Contact.
that those Cessna 172s and the type of things you normally see, the single-engine planes that come out of North Central and all the rest of that. He says you have an 8-to-1 glide slope, which means that if you are 100 feet up, you can go 800 feet before you hit the ground, presuming you have it trimmed properly. If you're 8,000 feet up, you can go 1,000. I'm sorry. If you're 1,000 feet up, you can go 8,000 feet
Before you
hit the ground because you have that gliding capability, an 8-to-1 glide slope. So, but if you figure if you can get that baby to climb to 10,000 feet, then you could make it to Florida.
There you go, on a glide.
Just glide there.
I mean, if it stopped,
If the wind's behind you.
right?
Yeah, you're gonna have the wind.
If it stopped,
My question is, what about the? And there's probably a good answer for this, but like, where is our national defense? I mean, this guy, it's like,
He's probably flying under
Guy's driving
under the
a-
radar.
Maybe-
It doesn't even come up.
but really, I mean, I would have thought this stuff would be, for between drug traffickers and everything else, I would think the radar would be pretty low, and picking up anything 100 feet above the
I
surface.
got to ask you about that.
Or even the
Tom.
Coast Guard.
Are you really convinced that the drug traffickers and things like that are actually being challenged? I mean, if you've got,
Oh no, you mean
if you have over 1 million people just crossing the border because they want to, they're going to let a little plane go through, aren't they?
Maybe, but
I mean, you would like to think that
but
our
a
border,
little Russian plane. I don't know.
they're not going to know it's a Russian plane.
Yeah, maybe, but
They see that as a blip and they realize private aircraft, no transponder.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
yeah.
Let it go.
Well, yeah, when it gets to the ground, we'll go look
We'll
it
talk
up.
then.
Right. Sort it out.
We can do that with a phone call. They're not going to send the fighter jets up unless
No, I didn't
it's
mean a
coming
fighter
over
jet.
Pennsylvania Avenue. Then the fighter jets go up.
Right.
How many small Russian planes, single-engine planes, have taken off from Cuba?
Well,
Probably not a lot.
the fact that I mean the relationship between Russia and Cuba's government, that's what dictated it was a Russian plane. It's a leftover.
Yeah,
you
right.
know.
For sure.
surprised it still works.
Yeah, well, you would say that, right?
Yeah.
But when someone's desperate enough and handy with a wrench, they think they can get it 8,000 feet up in the air. They have every real expectation that if that plane will fly for 30 minutes, they will make it to the United
get there,
States.
yeah.
All right.
And that's all you need is 30 minutes and get it up there. And then if something goes wrong, you will find an interstate highway.
To land on.
Right, because the Eisenhower Interstate Highway System is designed 1 straight mile for every 5 miles.
All right. So for the fans of the Beatles out there, a letter.
The Beatle?
The Beatles. A
Okay.
letter signed by John Lennon on the day he was murdered.
Yeah.
Sold for over $60,000.
Wow.
Some people just have a lot
Too
of money.
morbid, too gory.
The document is dated December 8th, 1980, is the last document Lennon signed before he was murdered. It was expected to sell somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000, but they had a flurry of last-minute bids, and the price was just under $64,000.
Wow.
That's a lot of
That's a
money
lot for a letter.
for one letter with his signature on it. So I guess the date is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is that it's obviously it's the last thing he signed. So anything after
No, it
that?
wasn't.
No?
Last document he signed.
Last letter he
He
signed.
signed an autograph.
Oh,
just
that's
before.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
all
where's
part of the
that?
story.
Where's that
I don't
document that he signed
I
the
don't know where
autograph
that
of
is
the guy
now,
who
but
killed him?
I know he signed autographs when he left the hotel
Yeah.
and when he was returning. And the murderer saw him leave and was casing
Mm-hmm.
the joint, saw he was out, and knew that if he hung around, the guy would come back. And someone asked him for an autograph, and he went right over and signed it.
In the movie Imagine, which just follows John Lennon and Yoko Ono in their career, but it shows them later on, walking around Central Park, and fans noticed them. Like they were playing softball. And they come running up to the fence. Oh my God, it's John Lennon. And John, when are the Beatles getting back together? He said, next week, right here. don't come on back. Oh, great. I guess that was his standard answer all the time. Next week, right here.
It's a good way to stop the questions.
That is a good way to stop them. All right, we're done with the show for today. We thank you for listening in, everyone.
We're just getting warmed up.
I know.
Let's do it again.
We will tomorrow in about 23 hours. Dave, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, what we didn't ask is Tom Ward his predictions for Halloween. That's a week from today, but this next week will be your Monday off.
It will.
So you can get your costume on.
Oh, thank God.
Do you have a prediction, Tom?
A prediction for Halloween? What
Dark?
kind of prediction? Yeah, it'll be dark, it'll be cool, and the kids will have fun.
It'll be a great day for your brother, the dentist.
Yeah, it will.
Well, the day after.
And
the
your,
weeks
and your
after,
other
yeah.
brother, the politician, is seeing your brother, the dentist, today, I think. I think I heard that in a rumor.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, thanks for
Keeps
coming
them
in.
busy. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And your other brother, Daryl.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. Stay tuned. Leslie Page with At the Library and Food First. Karen Zangari next on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Rhode Island's medical marijuana market is expanding as recreational sales are set to begin this winter. The Providence Journal says Aura of Rhode Island opened a dispensary on Lonsdale Avenue in Central Falls last week. Over the summer, a home delivery service called Sweet Spot Dispensary began operating out of South Kingstown. There are now 5 medical marijuana stores in the Ocean State. The legalization law signed by Governor McKee allows for nearly 3 dozen retail stores to open after